Whenever someone lands in Trinidad and Tobago, the first impression is how organized, vibrant, and naturally welcoming the atmosphere feels without any forced presentation or exaggerated setup, because everything about the environment speaks for itself in a grounded way that combines modern structure with coastal calm. The drive from the airport to the main areas of Port of Spain reveals clean roads lined with palm trees, smooth traffic flow, and a sense of balance between tropical scenery and urban functionality that stands out compared to other islands where development feels either too crowded or too sparse. The beaches near the city, especially those frequented by locals after work or during weekends, show that the coastline here isn't reserved for resorts only but shared with everyday people who enjoy the sea as part of their normal life. The skyline of Port of Spain might not be massive like global cities, yet it holds a practical design with well-maintained buildings, lively commercial centers, and waterfront areas that blend naturally with the Caribbean setting. The weather, while warm and humid, comes with a refreshing ocean breeze that keeps the air moving, making even the busiest afternoon feel bearable under the sun. Tourists often find themselves surprised by how modern everything looks without losing its regional character, and that balance makes Trinidad and Tobago's urban areas particularly special. The streets are active but not chaotic, filled with a mixture of business people, travelers, and vendors, all contributing to an atmosphere of genuine motion that feels alive yet calm at the same time. Music comes from car radios, not staged performances, and it creates a natural soundtrack to daily life rather than an overproduced tourist display. Visitors who arrive expecting a quiet rural island often discover that Trinidad, especially around the capital, carries a rhythm closer to a small city with Caribbean character rather than a simple beach town. What gives this island an advantage is how it manages to stay clean and organized despite the energy of its population. You can walk along the waterfront and see joggers, families, and people sharing food with laughter, all within the view of distant cargo ships and small fishing boats that remind everyone this place works and relaxes in harmony. Maracas Beach is one of those spots where that blend of modernity and nature becomes visible right away, as the well-kept facilities and smooth roads leading there make the journey comfortable while the destination still feels untouched and genuine. The drive through the northern range is a highlight in itself, filled with winding turns, small roadside vendors selling fruit, and occasional lookouts showing breathtaking coastal views that require no added drama to impress any visitor. Once at the beach, it's not the usual resort-controlled setup but rather a long stretch of sand open to everyone, with families, groups of friends, and travelers all mixing freely. You'll see people playing football, vendors preparing freshly fried bacon shark, and young adults enjoying the waves after work, creating a scene that feels both social and peaceful. What stands out most here isn't just the scenery but the way people naturally use it. There's no artificial division between tourist and local spaces. The water remains clean, the sand well maintained, and the mood relaxed even on busier days. The surrounding mountains add a protective frame around the bay, giving it an enclosed, secure feeling that allows visitors to stay for hours without realizing time passing. What truly defines Maracas isn't the postcard beauty but the ease with which it fits into daily life, offering comfort without over-design. It's that authenticity that makes it memorable, not the visual perfection. Many who visit say it's one of those beaches that never feels repetitive because each visit shows a different side of local life depending on who's there and what day of the week it is. That is what separates Trinidad and Tobago from other destinations. The balance between comfort and authenticity stays visible everywhere. As travelers move around Trinidad, they quickly realize how accessible everything feels, with well-connected roads and a strong sense of direction that makes exploring easy even for newcomers. The island's infrastructure works efficiently for tourism without losing focus on its own people, showing that progress here isn't about creating artificial attractions but maintaining what already functions well. From modern shopping centers to small corner shops, there's an even mix of development that never overshadows the country's cultural character. The beaches close to the city show that modern living and natural beauty can coexist smoothly when managed properly. Cafes and open-air restaurants near the coastline serve both traditional and international meals, proving that tourism doesn't have to sacrifice authenticity to achieve quality. The food scene itself reflects the island's history, a mixture of African, Indian, and Creole flavors that make every meal feel familiar yet distinct. You can eat a freshly grilled fish while watching office workers take a lunch break nearby, and that kind of shared space defines the Trinidadian experience: inclusive, practical, and naturally friendly. It's easy to understand why so many regional visitors consider it a place where you can enjoy both city comfort and tropical leisure in one day. Travelers looking for polished yet human-scale destinations often find this mix unbeatable. Port of Spain's waterfront area represents this identity clearly through its mix of modern construction and community activity that keeps it grounded and real. The modern marina hosts both local and international vessels, yet what makes it stand out is the accessibility. Locals come to fish, relax, or simply sit along the promenade without being pushed aside by tourism zones. Restaurants and small bars line the streets, offering local drinks and food that remain affordable even for residents, creating an atmosphere that welcomes everyone equally. The evenings around this area become especially pleasant as the temperature cools slightly and the air carries the faint scent of the ocean, reminding you constantly of how connected this city is to the water. Lights reflect gently on the calm surface of the bay, creating a view that feels organized and subtle rather than over-designed. You'll notice families strolling, young couples enjoying street snacks, and workers unwinding after long shifts, giving you a full sense of community rhythm that feels alive but not forced. There's no sense of performance here, only genuine human presence. The skyline may not rival huge capitals, but it stands as a symbol of steady growth that fits the island's size and lifestyle perfectly. On weekends, local residents enjoy live bands and small parties that don't aim to impress but to unite people in a shared sense of joy. Tourists who join these gatherings often find that they experience more of the island's character here than anywhere else. It's a culture built on friendliness, storytelling, and shared enjoyment rather than exclusivity. The interactions feel honest because there's no marketing behind them, just people living as they normally do. For anyone seeking a deeper connection, this side of the country offers exactly that, a feeling of being welcomed without having to belong to any particular group. Exploring Antigua's capital, St. John's, reveals how the local and commercial sides mix naturally in one setting. The city's waterfront is busy with activity, from ferry docks to the colorful stalls of Heritage Quay and the lively public market where vendors sell fruits, vegetables, and handmade items. Visitors walking through this area witness the energy of daily business, where small-scale trade keeps the economy moving as much as tourism does. The streets are lined with modest shops, local food spots, and clothing stores that cater to both residents and travelers. Though not designed to impress with luxury, St. John's carries a sense of purpose and pride, showing how people adapt and sustain themselves within limited space and resources. This part of the island's life remains essential to understanding its character because it displays resilience and practicality alongside friendliness and openness. Barbuda, the smaller of the two islands, reflects an even simpler and more traditional lifestyle that adds to the country's diversity. With a population of only a few thousand, it feels removed from the busy pace of Antigua, focusing instead on fishing, small-scale farming, and local gatherings. The village of Codrington serves as the main hub, where residents know each other personally and where visitors quickly feel part of a close-knit environment. Travelers can walk to the beaches, explore the bird sanctuary, or speak with locals about how life continues after challenges like hurricanes, learning that community strength is the foundation of their resilience. Barbuda's charm lies in its openness. There are fewer commercial structures and more natural landscapes, giving a rare glimpse of Caribbean life untouched by overdevelopment. For travelers seeking peace and authenticity, this side of the nation offers unmatched simplicity. The local festivals and cultural events of Antigua and Barbuda are another layer of the country's social identity, where music, dance, and traditional celebrations express pride and continuity. Beyond the well-known carnival, smaller village events and weekend performances bring people together in both casual and formal ways. Local schools and community groups organize gatherings that showcase folk dances, steel pan music, and storytelling traditions that have survived for generations. These experiences show the cultural depth of the island without the need for expensive settings or grand production. Travelers attending such events find themselves immersed in rhythms and customs that have real meaning, reflecting the connection between heritage and daily life. It is this consistency in tradition that keeps the local side of Antigua and Barbuda genuine and alive. Antigua and Barbuda's weather also plays a role in shaping the country's local experience. and shipping yards alongside scenic coastlines and cultural landmarks. That combination makes the experience far richer because it provides context. This isn't an artificial paradise but a nation where progress and tradition share space. The advantage for travelers is that they get to see both sides of Caribbean life, the working and the relaxing, without either one feeling diminished. It also ensures better infrastructure and safety since development supports everyone, not just visitors. People take pride in their country's ability to offer comfort without relying on luxury branding or extreme exclusivity. This honest identity adds a layer of respect to the travel experience that's often missing elsewhere. When evening comes, Trinidad's social life starts to shift in tone as the city lights up quietly and the sound of everyday movement turns into a gentle rhythm of nightlife. The entertainment scene is diverse, from small local bars serving homemade rum to upscale restaurants offering international menus. Yet what makes it enjoyable is the inclusivity of it all, as anyone can find their place regardless of budget or background. The culture of going out isn't about showing off but about connection, conversation, and community. Many areas around Ariapita Avenue and Woodbrook become lively yet still manageable, where locals and visitors mix freely without barriers. It's safe, energetic, and full of laughter, but always grounded in a sense of familiarity. The city never feels overwhelming, and that allows people to relax even while surrounded by music and crowds. For those who prefer quiet evenings, seaside spots remain open, where the sound of small waves hitting the shore accompanies distant chatter from nearby restaurants. These moments capture Trinidad's personality perfectly: confident, social, and real. The architecture throughout the island also tells a story of gradual progress shaped by cultural diversity rather than rigid design plans. In many neighborhoods, you can see a blend of colonial-style buildings next to modern glass offices, with each reflecting a chapter of the nation's past and present. The color palette remains earthy and tropical without crossing into exaggerated tones. Houses are well-built, often painted with care, and reflect the individuality of families that live there. Public spaces include both historic structures and newly built community centers, showing respect for tradition while embracing improvement. It's this visible coexistence between old and new that gives the island a genuine visual identity. Walking through these streets offers an experience that combines the charm of history with the functionality of modern design. Travelers who enjoy observing real environments rather than staged attractions will appreciate how everything fits together naturally. Each area reveals a sense of adaptation, not perfection, which adds authenticity to the overall image. Tobago, though smaller and calmer, remains closely connected to Trinidad through frequent transport and shared culture, but even before reaching it, visitors sense its different personality through the stories they hear from locals. Many Trinidadians speak fondly of Tobago as their place to unwind, their escape from the busier pace of city life. This duality gives travelers the option to experience both sides of the Caribbean within one country, one dynamic and productive, the other serene and nature-oriented. It's not uncommon for people working in Port of Spain to spend weekends in Tobago just to relax by the water and recharge. This internal connection between the two islands creates a stronger national identity that few countries possess. While Trinidad thrives on motion and activity, Tobago represents rest and simplicity without ever feeling detached. That balance enhances the tourism potential because it offers two different but complementary lifestyles in a single trip. Even within Trinidad's urban space, there are quiet neighborhoods where life slows down noticeably, and this contrast is part of the island's beauty. In the mornings, streets come alive with local markets selling fruit, vegetables, and baked goods, while the sound of normal city life builds gradually instead of explosively. You can walk through these areas and see how residents go about their day with calm purpose, greeting each other politely and maintaining the kind of neighborly relationships that larger cities often lose. The sense of community remains strong despite modernization. People care about their surroundings and take time to talk, help, or share small stories with strangers. This natural warmth extends to tourists, who often comment on how approachable everyone seems without being overly eager or performative. Such interactions leave lasting impressions because they happen spontaneously. These are the scenes that reveal the country's character most honestly: simple, polite, and grounded. Markets and street vendors across Trinidad play a major role in daily life, offering not just goods but also a look into the country's rhythm and priorities. Fresh produce, spices, handmade crafts, and cooked meals create an environment filled with genuine energy that reflects local taste and creativity. You'll find older vendors who have sold at the same spot for decades, proudly continuing traditions passed through families. Younger sellers bring modern touches, such as digital payments and updated packaging, showing that even informal economies are adapting smoothly. What stands out is the coexistence between generations and ideas, proving that development here doesn't erase the old but builds upon it respectfully.